So this was a last question part which we were discussing. Describe how a student could prepare ester methyl ethanoate in the school lab. Now, if I want to prepare methyl ethanoate, what chemical I need for this preparation? Which alcohol? Because ester is formed by alcohol and carboxylic acid. So, which alcohol and carboxylic acid is required? So, alcohol is the first name is methanol. So basically we need methanol, the first one, and because it is ethanoate, so we need ethanoic acid. So these are the two reagents required for the preparation. Essential condition, the condition for preparation of alcohol, the preparation of ester. So which acid we use here? So we use sulfuric acid as a catalyst, and the forward reaction should be is endothermic, so we prefer a high temperature as well. So the essential condition what we use, sulfuric acid as catalyst and heat. The pressure does not affect too much. Why? Because these are in a liquid state. Pressure is valid for gaseous reactant. Like if one of the reactant in a gaseous state, then we can apply a pressure. So sulfuric acid is catalyst and heat. Then a chemical equation. The equation is when ethanoic acid. So ethanoic acid is CH3 COOH, that is ethanoic acid, reacted with methanol. So methanol is CH3 and OH. So what it result? The whole carbon chain will take position of the hydrogen. So it will form methyl ethanoate plus water, and the reaction is reversible. So when you complete this, this will be the product. So how you will get the 5 marks or distribution? This is having 2 marks. Mentioning the catalyst and providing a heat, 2 marks, and the final equation is having 1 mark. And you can clearly see the weightage of organic chemistry question 19. Like the whole paper 4 is of 80 marks, and out of 80, 19 marks from organic chemistry. So what it shows? It shows like approximately 25%, because if I make it 20, so approximately 25% of this paper 4 based on organic chemistry, and only 2 chapters are there which cover 25% of your marking. So it's better you revise organic chemistry on a daily basis so that you will not lose these marks from the question coming from organic chemistry. And only 2 chapters are there. One is about alkane, alkene, and the second an alcohol carboxylic, and the second one is about polymerization. Another question, ethanol, which is C2H5, can be made by fermentation. Complete the chemical equation for the formation of ethanol by fermentation. So what will be the product here? It will form glucose plus carbon dioxide. And how we can balance this equation? What are the products, like the balancing part? So yeah, that's right. 2C C2H5OH plus 2CO2. So I can put 2 here and 2. Now, what are the essential conditions for fermentation? What we need for fermentation or conditions for fermentation? So, a room temperature or a temperature around 37, 30, 37 anaerobic condition means in the absence of oxygen. We should use a yeast and aqueous glucose. Yeah, it is right. If you mention, if even you mention around 30, it is acceptable. It's 37, 35. These are ranges. Exact when it is having an effective rate, that is around 37. But it is the range is acceptable as well for temperature. Then the second part, ethanol can also be made by a catalytical hydration. Hydration means addition of water, and catalytical means by the help of catalyst. The equation for this reaction is shown. Name a suitable catalyst for this reaction. What is the catalyst used for hydration? Phosphoric acid. That's right. And normally we use a concentrated phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid is the mark, but the practical we use concentrated phosphoric acid. Even you don't write a concentrated, that will not like, because the phosphoric acid is having a mark here, so you will not lose a mark if you did not write concentrated. Calculate the maximum mass of ethanol made from ethene, that is related to stoichiometry, the chapter 4. Ethanol can be oxidized to form ethanoic acid. Name a suitable oxidizing agent. So what we use for the suitable oxidizing agent? So you should mention acidified potassium manganate 7. You should mention acidified, because if only we use potassium manganate, that will not be effective, which must be acidified. A molecule of carbon monoxide is a reducing agent, not an oxidizing agent. If you write carbon monoxide, that will be wrong, because carbon monoxide is a reducing agent. We need an oxidizing agent. We need a substance which can add oxygen. No, but if we use carbon monoxide, it will remove oxygen. A molecule of ethanoic acid has a structure shown. Complete a dot and cross diagram to show the arrangement of electron in an outer shell. So one line is representing a pair of electron. So if there is a single line between carbon and hydrogen, so one electron belongs to hydrogen, another one belongs to carbon. Then another line, so it means one electron belongs to hydrogen, another one belongs to carbon. One belongs to hydrogen, another one belongs to carbon. Then there's a single line between the two. So, and the two carbons should have identical symbol for the electrons. Then there's a double bond between carbon and oxygen. So double bond means two pairs should be there, but we should use a different symbol for oxygen electrons. So I'm using a circle. And there's a single bond between carbon and oxygen. So carbon, and oxygen single bond. And then oxygen and hydrogen also there's a single bond, so this is for oxygen and cross is for hydrogen. This is, we draw the shared one, but unshared also, hydrogen there is no unshared, carbon belongs to group 4, so the share 4 unshared will be 0. So hydrogen share 1 unshared will be 0, carbon share 4 unshared will be 0. Oxygen, it belongs to group 6, so it will share 2 and unshared will be 4. So we have to draw 4 unshared electron for oxygen. Is it clear the structure of carboxylic acid in terms of sharing of electrons in a molecule? Then for the next part, ethanoic acid is a weak acid. When referring to an acid, what is meant by the term weak? So meant by the term weak means it will ionize or break down partially. So partially ionized. Describe how you could show that ethanoic acid is a weak acid than hydrochloric acid. So a simple experiment to show hydrochloric acid is a strong acid compared to ethanoic acid. So you can measure a pH. But first thing, when you are comparing, the two acids should have the same concentration. So take the equal concentration of the two acids, measure the pH. The pH of hydrochloric acid will be lower than pH of, because when we are comparing, both solutions should have equal number of the particles. So take equal concentrations. Ethanoic acid, then what you will do, measure the pH of hydrochloric acid. Yeah, if you add a universal indicator, because universal indicator for strong acid pH or pH around 1 and 2, it will be red. So hydrochloric acid, it will be red, and for ethanoic acid it will be orange or yellow. Or you can also take equal concentration, use electrolysis. Yesterday I discussed, like, if you use electrolysis, yeah, the lamp will be brighter with hydrochloric acid as there are more ions as compared to that of ethanoic acid. Yes, you can also just use a pH meter. That's a method which I just explained here. That I'm using a pH meter to measure a pH directly. I did not mention a pH meter term, but what I meant here is measure the pH by using a pH meter. Many possible answers are there. Here you have to plan. It is obvious that we know hydrochloric acid. Yes, you can mention like the pH of hydrochloric acid will be 1 or 2 and ethanoic acid will be about 4. You can mention that as well. Now in this question, the carboxylic acid react with alcohol to form an ester. The structure of the ester is shown. First thing, what is the name of this ester? What is the name of this ester? The part which is attached with oxygen is a branch, and the part which is attached with C double bonded with O is a chain. Can you name this ester? Because from the ester name we can simply identify which acid and alcohol reacted to form this ester. So it is butyl propanoate. That's right. When you're naming, this is a branch and this one is a chain. So branch is having 4 carbons of but, and chain is include this carbon as well, which is having C double bonded with O. So it is butyl propanoate. So if it is butyl propanoate, which alcohol reacted and which acid reacted to form this ester? So which alcohol will be there? Butanol. And which acid is there? Propanoic acid. Yeah, that's right. Butanol and propanoic acid. So basically what we have to do in this question, we have to draw the structure of carboxylic acid and alcohol which form this ester. So we have to draw the structure of butanol, the structure of carboxylic acid, and then the structure of alcohol. So first we have to draw the structure of carboxylic acid because it is propanol. So prop means I will draw 3 carbon, then C, and I have to show all the bonds. This will have 2 hydrogen and this will have 3 hydrogen. So this is propanoic acid. Name of the acid will be propanoic acid. And then structure of alcohol, because butanol is there, so but means 4 carbon and OH is attached either on the right hand side or the left hand side with the first carbon. This will have 2 hydrogens, 2 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen and 1 hydrogen. So it is butanol. And see the weightage, 19 marks. So approximately 25% of the paper is organic chemistry. Okay, another question. This is May-June 2018, paper 4, variant 1. The table shows the structure of 4 hydrocarbons. Why are compound P, Q, R and S are known as hydrocarbons? What is the reason why we call them as hydrocarbon? Because these compounds contain carbon and hydrogen only. That's why they're hydrocarbon. For hydrocarbon, the compound P is a saturated. What is meant by here for hydrocarbon? What is the meaning of saturated? It means it contains carbon-carbon single bond. So single bond between all the carbon atoms or between the carbon atoms. So that is why we call saturated. No double bond in the structure or single bond, only single bond is there within the structure. So here in organic chemistry, the term saturated refers to the type of the bond. If there is a single bond, we call saturated. If there is a double bond, we call them as unsaturated. It is not related to solubility. The definition of solubility means, or saturated means the substance, the maximum amount of solute dissolved in a solvent at a particular temperature, that we call a saturated solution. But a saturated here in high organic chemistry means that they have a single bond. Compound P undergoes substitution reaction with chlorine. What is meant by a substitution reaction? What is the definition of substitution reaction? All alkanes are saturated. So the term saturated, what is meant by the term substitution reaction? Substitution reaction means when atoms or group of atoms displaces, here you have to write a journal definition. So when atom or group is replaced by another atom or group of atom, we use the term saturate, we use the term substitution. So when atom or here you have to write a journal definition of substitution: when atom or group displace another atom or a group, we call that as substitution. The overall reaction is a displacement of atom State the conditions for substitution reaction. What are the conditions for substitution of alkane with chlorine? So we need UV, ultraviolet. The main condition, yeah, it need a temperature, but the main condition is UV. Even if you have a high temperature, this reaction will not proceed until there is an ultraviolet light. At high temperature, the rate will be faster, but UV is essential. Without UV, even the temperature is high, that will not cause a substitution reaction. Then write a chemical equation. So P is what? P is ethane. So ethane undergoes substitution reaction. Ethane is C2NH6 and it reacted with chlorine. So I told when substitution reaction occur, one chlorine will enter and one hydrogen will replace. And you just have to write only one equation because they did not say write equations, only equation. So C2H6 plus Cl2, what will be the product of the substitution? So it will form C2H5Cl plus HCl. So that is the product for substitution. It should be Cl2 because chlorine is a group 7 element. Group 7 element exists as a diatomic molecule. Like two atoms will make one molecule. The next part, R undergo addition reaction with bromine. So R is there, compound R which is propene. It undergo addition reaction. So the question is, what is the definition of addition reaction? So the term addition reaction means when more reactant and only form one product. Many reactant molecule, we call that as addition. A compound containing a bromine is formed in this reaction. Draw a structure and show all the atoms and all the bonds. So propene is there. So this was a propene, the structure which was given for our CH2, CH and CH3. When it reacted with bromine, Br2, so one bromine added to first carbon and the second bromine added to second carbon and the double bond will break. So we just have to draw the product. We don't have to draw the reactant. So dibromo, 1,2-dibromo, propane. So the double bond will break and the two bromine atoms attached to a carbon which were having a double bond. So this one is bromine. The second one is also bromine. Is it clear? Because what happened here, the double bond will break and one bromine added to first carbon, second bromine added to the second carbon. Is it clear, the structure of the product? Yes, the product of substitution reaction is called halogen alkane.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I have a confusion. There are certain halogen-containing compounds that are called, generally named like trichloroethane,
Hmm.
tetrachloroethane, and there are also other compounds that are called like two bromide bromobutane. Like, what's the difference between these type of differently named compounds? It led me to confusion.
Because look, for example, if I was having CH3, CH, CH2 and bromine is attached. So first and second position bromine are attached. So what will be the name of this compound? It is 1,2-dibromopropane. And this is generally called, the journal name of these compounds which are having halogen and a carbon single bond. These are known as halogen alkanes. And there are different types of halogen alkane, like some have 2 halogen attached to them, some have 3 halogen attached, some have 4 halogen attached. So number of the halogen attached may vary, but all of them are known as halogen alkanes. Like here, if I write CH3Cl, then I write CH2Cl2, then I write CHCl3. So they all are halogen alkane because they contain halogen and there's a carbon single bond. Then what is the name? The difference is this contain one carbon only, so I can say it is monochloro, and because of one carbon I can say it is methane. So it is monochloromethane. This one dichloromethane. But why I did not write any number before that? Because the two carbon atoms, the two chlorine atom attached to that carbon only, that only one carbon directly. That's why I did not specify the number here, and it is only one carbon. But other examples, if it is attached to, like here when we draw the structure, one bromine attached to the first carbon, the second bromine attached to the second carbon. That is why I have to mention their position, that it is 1,2-dibromo, and according to which alkane, how many carbon attached to the chain. But if they are both attached to one carbon, that's why I did not specify the position. Is it clear?
So they're basically the same things, right? It's just that in the first examples, the halogen branch is in the first carbon.
Yeah, it is with the first carbon, and all are attached to that first carbon only. That's why we are not mentioning the position.
Okay, sir. Thank you. This was like a little bit confusing, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next, draw the structure of unbranched isomer of compound S and show all the atoms and all the bonds and name this unbranched isomer. First, what is S here? What is the name of this S? Can you identify the name? Like, can you say the name from the structure? Identify the structure and say the name of this S. So it is butene. So I don't have to draw a branch, I need an isomer. So if I need an isomer, I told there are two ways to draw isomer of alkene. Either change the position of the double bond or draw a cyclic. So what we can do, this is butene, but what we can do, we can draw the double bond with between the second and the third carbon and draw butene. So this will have three hydrogen. This will have one hydrogen, one hydrogen. We have to show all the bonds. And then the name of this compound, because the double bond with the second carbon, so it is but 2 ene. The next question, compound Q undergo a polymerization. Name the polymer form. Q, what is compound Q? Compound Q is ethene. What is the polymer formed by ethene? The polymer formed by ethene, so that will be polyethene. And we have to complete this equation for polymerization. So it will be, the double bond will break into single bond, and just put in. The part G is related to the condensation polymerization, so we'll not discuss right now. Is it clear? The equation which we complete for polymerization of ethene. Whenever polymer formed, the double bond will break into single bond and it will form a long chain compound. The next part, the structure shows an ester. So this is an ester. Write a word equation for reaction which could be used to make this ester. But before writing a word equation, what is the name of this ester? The name of this ester. So the part which is attached with oxygen is a branch. So it is ethyl butanoate. So if it is ethyl butanoate, what could be the word equation? I need alcohol, ethanol, and I need butanoic acid. So what will be the word equation for formation of this ester? So ethanol plus butanoic acid give ethyl butanoate plus water. Because in equation it should be complete. You should mention water as well because you are writing a full equation. Is it clear? This structure, the word equation, they ask for word equation, that's why we don't have to write a formula, just a word equation. Then another question related to organic chemistry, ethane, which is C2H6, is a member of homologous series alkane, and ethanol, which is C2H5OH, is also a member of homologous series. What is meant by term hydrocarbon? Again, the same question repeated. So, contain carbon and hydrogen only. So, compound with carbon and hydrogen, they are known as hydrocarbon. Then, what is the journal formula of alkane? The journal formula for alkane. So, CnH2n plus 2. And what is the journal formula for alcohol series? The journal formula for alcohol. It is CnH2n. Yeah, that's right, because it is, yeah, CnH2n plus 1 OH is there. That is the formula for, general formula for alcohol. This will be a subscript, but because I'm copying your answers, so it appear as a number, but it should be a subscript. Then two characteristic of homologous series. Already we discussed this, so I'm quickly going through. Same method of preparation, same general formula. Already they mentioned, so that you don't have to mention. Same method of preparation. Each member differ by CH2. Ethane can react with chlorine. Essential condition. So we use ultraviolet light. Draw a structure of organic product formed by substitution of one hydrogen. So ethane react with chlorine, it will form a chloroethane. So one of the hydrogen of ethane will be replaced by chlorine. Then name the product of a substitution reaction between ethane and chlorine that does not contain carbon. So what else is there? What is the other product form when chlorine react with ethane? Like C2H6 plus Cl2 gives chloroethane, C2H5Cl plus hydrogen chloride will be there, or HCl. So when you mention, it should be in word, hydrogen chloride. Propane 1-ol, the structure of propane 1-ol is shown. Propane 1-ol react with ethanoic acid to form an ester. Give the name of ester formed from this reaction. Which ester is formed when propanol reacted with ethanoic acid? So it will be propyl ethanoate. Then give the molecular formula of the ester. The molecular formula means how many carbon atom. So how many carbon? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 carbons. So C5. How many hydrogen are there? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So C5, H10 and O2. So that is C5, H10 and O2 is the molecular formula. Then draw the structure of the carboxylic acid. Look, from ester, if you want to work out the structure of carboxylic acid and alcohol, just break the structure, break the molecule from this side. Means where it is attached with oxygen. Break the molecule, and what you will do, if I break first with one side and I will put H, so that will be the structure of alcohol. And if I need which carboxylic acid is there, so I will break from other side and I will put H here. So what it will form? It will form carboxylic acid. So the next part, because less minute left, so I will not be able to draw the full structure, but I want, so I'm just explaining an idea that how you can work out the structure is just hide this structure. If you want to draw alcohol, hide the remaining structure till oxygen and put H here. So that will be alcohol. And if you want to draw carboxylic acid, then the hide the alcohol part, the part which is coming from alcohol, and put H. That will give you carboxylic structure. Is it clear? The next part is just to draw the structure of alcohol and carboxylic acid. Any question related to this part, organic chemistry discussion? So you will find a repetition is there in these questions, like defining hydrocarbon, homologous series, naming the alcohol, carboxylic acid. So I'll end this session and share this recording with you.